Hello,
Hello.
hello. Awesome.
Okay.
Hindi ko pa rin alam kung ano yung intro ko. By the
Okay.
way, hi once again. I'm Morgan Gonzalez,
And I'm Ron Gonzalez.
and we are
G's
G's
at
at the
the
table.
table.
All
Okay.
right, cool.
So,
Oo,
kamusta? Kamusta? Para
yeah.
di tayo magkasama sa isang baya.
Oo nga eh.
Anyways, it's September 28, 2021, and it's 88 days before Christmas.
Christmas!
Okay.
88 ba?
Oo. Sabi dun
Oh,
sa baba ng
grabe.
mall.
Yeah, okay.
Ayan. Hi, Ron. Ang ating fan.
Hey to hello everyone. It's nice to be back in Variable Place net show, which is yeah, we G's at the table, and we are at episode 3. It's our third, well, official, actually fourth stream, but yeah, but
Part 3,
the
but
first was not
episode 3.
not official though.
Yes.
But we are at episode 3, and what are we going to talk about today?
Before that,
Okay.
before that,
Okay.
ano ba? Before that, ano bang mga ginawa? What did we do the past 2 weeks? So,
Oh,
I think we
the
did not play that much. I mean, we did
yeah,
not play
the variable
board
play
games.
question. What did you play the past
Yeah.
weeks? Kasi last month tayo.
Yeah. For
Well,
the couple of weeks,
yeah, for the last couple of weeks, we were somehow
we were
yeah,
not able to play board games.
we were not we were
Yeah, we were busy with first, I think because of community day of Pokemon Go.
yeah, we were playing
Yeah.
Pokemon Go
So
community. It was community day.
yeah, that's 2 Sundays ago.
Mhm.
And then
Last week we have ourselves registered to be
so we're
voters.
officially
Yeah. After that
voters.
7 hour plus queue.
Yes. And then there's Pokemon Unite that was released in the
Recently,
mobile platform. So
yeah, it was just this last week.
yeah, last week,
That
September
yeah,
2020.
last week.
And then you finished.
Yeah, I was playing my Nintendo Switch. I just completed Ori, the Blind Forest game, and you were watching with me.
Yes, I was the lucky charm.
Yeah, the Lucky Charm.
Yes.
It's such a cute game, pero very challenging. Oh,
Hi,
go
Jay.
Mamos Wine. Hey Jake. Hey Jagsy. Yeah, Mamos Wine.
Yes. And then also like 2 weeks ago, you started to. I think the only game that we play for the past 2 weeks is Kanban EV.
Yeah, we were able to play it last Sunday.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
But we were intending to play it
two week
2 weeks
last
ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Yes.
it's yung the prep how I prepared to learn that game. I watch too many couple of how to play and some playthroughs and stuff. Was weeks before we played it. So ayun. So it's such a very hectic schedule last weekend.
Yes.
And yeah,
So I think that's one of the reasons why we came up with this topic. We settled on this topic while we were in the line.
yeah. While we were waiting for 7 hours, we were discussing about what should be a good topic for our third episode,
Yes.
which we haven't really given
Thought of. Yes.
that thought.
So since we had like 2 weeks preparation before we were able to play Kanban EV, so we came up with this topic
Yep.
because Kanban EV is a considered heavy game.
Yep.
So yeah, so yun yung progression of our thoughts why we came up with this topic.
Yes.
So what's our topic, by the way?
Oh, our topic is originally it's titled "Why Do We Love Heavy Board Games?" But the main topic is our love slash hate relationship with heavy games. So yeah, we will be talking about heavy games tonight, and yeah, we will be also helping you understand what heavy games are, which will be our first topic. I mean first point,
Okay, so
right? So yeah, I think without further ado, let's jump right in. So Before we talk about heavy board gaming for the audience out there, so let's define what is first. What is
I should
a
do.
heavy board game?
Okay, so
So
what
yeah,
is considered
how
a
do you
heavy?
define heavy
Yeah,
games?
so yun. What is considered a heavy board
Yeah, and yeah, for those who are in the chat, I would like you to
game?
guys help us to
Right, right.
throw in your thoughts. What do you think are defines a board game, a heavy board game? And this definition is just somehow based on our experience
Yes.
with with
So
with a lot of games that we played for the past 5
5 years. Yes.
years. Yeah, so yeah.
So it's just based on our experience and our thoughts. So
Mhm.
this is not like taga mo sa bato na ganito.
Definition.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the concrete one. This is everything that we're going to share with you tonight are really based on
Our
our s- in we our
insights,
subjective. Yeah.
thoughts. Yes.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So what is so how do you define heavy board? What makes a board game heavy?
Okay, sige. Let's try to define what makes a board game heavy. But before we do that, let's say hi to our hey Chelsea. Hey to our pamangkin Chelsea, who
Artistic
is
body.
who my TikTok buddy and who also loves playing board games with us. Like, yeah. And hey, Kai, heavy games like Catan. Yeah, sure. If Catan is heavy for you, I respect that, Kai, but I don't believe you. No, just kidding. Yeah. Well, by the way, yeah, shout out to Kai for teaching me Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition last
Mhm.
weekend. I was able to play with Leuven and Kai. Yeah, that the weekend. So yeah, okay. For me, heavy game. Okay, comments for me. A heavy game is at least 5 pounds. Actually, you nailed our first point. Okay, what makes what? How do we define heavy games? Literally, it's based on number one, the weight of the box.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
It,
a
it,
steep
it might be a ridiculous um, uh, definition,
definition.
but this is somehow based on our collection. Looking at our collection, we fail to see a heavy game that is in a small box. So maybe it's always the bigger ones and the ones with hefty components.
Oh, there's static. There's static
Oh,
down
we're
now.
getting static at the sound. How about
Okay.
that? Are we clear? Thank you
Bit
for
better.
thank you for raising that up, guys. Okay. So ayun, again, it's literally the weight of the box. The reason behind that is basically yeah, it's components and um what else? Yeah, the more components a game has usually I'm using the word usually, so doesn't happen all the time. Means there must be some certain level of complexity on what's going on.
Okay, wait lang. Nasa kwan pa lang tayo ah. Wait.
Okay,
Literal weight.
literal weight, literal
Literal
weight.
weight of
So
the
yeah,
game.
so yeah.
But is there a heavy well, since we don't know all the games, maybe do you think for those who are watching us, are there any games that you know that are considered heavy games na that are not heavy literally?
Yeah. So yun, those are okay. We are
Static.
somehow receiving some feedback from the audience that we are having
Static.
static in our sound. Let us disconnect. about that?
About now.
Sound check. Awesome. No sound. We're not having any sounds.
Hello.
Sound check. How about that? How about that?
Again. How about now?
Sound check. Oh no. Sound check. I hope everyone is hearing us clear now.
Walang audio. Wala
Walang
pa rin.
audio, bro. I think it's all right.
Ano nagsistatic? Okay, let's see.
I actually do not know.
Is it me? Is it you? Sorry, guys. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's
I think it's okay. Yan. Thanks, Jake.
Ayan.
Cool. All right. Okay. So,
Thank
sorry
you.
for that. We're still amateurs. All right.
Okay, so
So, okay. Going back, our first point is on defining heavy
but as I was asking the viewers, are there any games you know, heavy games you know na hindi mabigat? Yung box.
as in literally.
Ay,
Literally.
nako, static again.
Okay, we're getting a lot of static right now.
But, oh, I think ako dito.
Okay. I don't know. Thanks, Jake. Not sure. Are you guys? Hold on, guys. I think we're okay. I'm not sure if. Yan. Okay. Okay.
Ayun. Mali ang saksak.
Mali ang sinaksakan. Okay. Yeah, this
Ayan.
works loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Woohoo.
Okay, so nakat kami doon. Sorry guys. So
Okay,
very
ulitan.
professional. Okay, but yeah, but before that, we just want to say hello to Dan. Hey Dadeline, thank you so much for helping us out. Hey
Yes.
Jake, thank you.
Thank
Jake
you.
Fernandez.
To
Hey
Benjo.
Benjo. All right, si Benjo. Nice to see you, bro.
Yes.
Okay, laro
Exactly.
tayo
Maling
ulit.
butas.
Maling butas, yes. Maling saksak. Hey Kiyo. Kiyo is our secret member of the G's.
Yes. Honorary member.
Okay, all good.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Lubin said, ayan, Lubin is also here.
Hey, Luvin. Hi pa.
Hi.
Nako. All right, sige.
Okay.
Okay. So I think
going back.
No, I think let's move on to the
Okay.
next point. So yeah, it's basically that. So most of our heavy games kasi are composed of or comprised
Are literally heavy.
of a lot of components.
Yes.
So a lot of components means a lot of going on. A lot of things going on.
Okay. Next point, what makes a board game heavy?
Okay. How do you define heavy games? The next point is based on the complexity of the rules. When I say complexity of the rules, the moment you open the box, you check the rule book, and if it has like 30 pages of rules, or maybe it's not that easy to learn in one sitting, or the teaching of it can somehow be perplexing, even though you know how to play the game, but it's so very difficult to teach, or it's something that you cannot remember.
All I
Like
mean,
okay,
you cannot memorize. I mean.
yeah, but like I gave you set of actions that you could do. These
Mm-hmm.
are the actions on your turn, and if there's a lot of them that it's hard for players to remember, then I think you are playing a heavy game.
Yeah. So I think Chelsea made the point about this
Oh
that
yeah, yeah. Let's
ano,
put Chelsea's comment.
requires
Requires constant
constant referring
referring
to
to
the
rule
rule
book.
book to
Yes,
play.
indeed, indeed,
Exactly. Okay.
exactly.
So yeah.
So yeah, it's there are two types of complexity kasi. The first one is the rule complexity. The second one is what we're going to discuss on the next point. But if a game is something or gets to your nerves when you're somehow learning it or teaching it, something like that, it's kind of hard to put in words. Basta kapag hindi siya ganun kadali ituro or aralin, it's something heavy for me.
So what do you mean? How long do you usually take for to learn one heavy game?
Okay, now it siguro mga give me 2 to 3 days. Ganon. That's how I process it, because the way I learn games is, well, you know me, I do not like reading. So I watch like a couple of tutorial videos, and I watch
Okay.
a couple of playthrough videos for me to fully learn the game. And then yung rule book, gagawin ko na lang siyang reference. So that's
Okay.
how I learn. I mean, we all siguro as a person we have different
Different
styles of
levels.
learnings or styles of
Oh.
learnings. Like I'm more on visual,
Okay.
like, or visual ba yung tawag doon? Yeah, something like that. So yeah, the more I see how it's being played in actual, the more I learn.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how about yung teaching? Siyempre,
Okay.
it's different pa. That's different
Yeah,
from
yeah.
actually
Now
learning.
that you learn the game,
We lost our
it's also a
connection.
challenge to teach the game then. So ayun, there are some games that I we have in our collection that it's not really that heavy in terms of gameplay, but it's kind of challenging to teach. Like I remember I was teaching Anachrony with Ian Leuven in art, and it took me like 1 hour and 45 minutes
Okay.
just for the teaching. So ganon siya katagal. As in, but the game itself, it's really not that complicated. It's just it has so many phases that you have to explain each phase, and then syempre questions will come in. The more the questions, the longer it takes for the teaching to
But
complete.
with Anachrony, it was difficult to learn. When you were teaching it to me, it was difficult to learn. But when we were playing it, it was easy na. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt that way.
It's just a
Or
simple like you to if you get through a couple of rounds of it, you'll see that it's a simple game.
okay.
Well, not a simple game as like a gateway game, but the rules are simple are straightforward. So yeah, so that's how we see heavy games.
Okay.
That's how we define heavy games.
But what's your favorite rule book among
Oh,
all your favorite games? Yung as in it's very clear, or
siguro ako
is
yung
there such a thing in our collection?
I think yeah, I think Lacerda games like on Mars Lisboa and Kanban, which I read recently.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it long is it has a lot of examples in it,
Okay. Okay.
wherein yeah, it really teach you that's the step by step process of what they are explaining. Unfortunately, some board games are not like that, especially complex games, wherein for you to learn you need to really experience how it goes.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
So
let's go
before we
back.
jump to the next point, let's
Yep.
read comments. Yan, okay. Okay, let's start. Yes, Lisboa, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, Benjo is one of my colleagues who I was able to teach heavy games, and one of them is Lisboa. And next for me, a heavy game is when the rules is more of layers of system, each with its own set of rules. Yeah, from a board game designer's perspective, yeah, sobrang crucial ng rule book
Yes. At the same time,
or the
it's
rules itself.
parang it's a combination of different game mechanics.
Yeah,
Most
isa pa yon, isa pa yon. Kahit sabihin mo if the game mechanics are, yeah, it's a worker placement. Ah, yeah, I know worker placement. And okay, worker placement plus deck building, okay, and may konting resource management and may konting set collection, okay. Even though it's a medium weight game, it becomes complex in a certain level.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, games with a lot of sub rules. Yeah, mostly mga nitty-gritty details ng games. Lalo na yung sub rules parang sobrang weird na
sub-rules?
scenario. Parang
Sub-rules.
parang may specific scenario na like in Kanban, like for example, there's a part in the setup where if you get a certain design, usually when you get designs on the rightmost designs, you get bonuses.
Okay.
But that does not work during the first round
Okay.
or the new employee orientation. Yung mga ganun, minsan nakakalito siya. And yeah, yung mga nitty-gritty details ng rules.
Nakaabot si Denmark. Hello, Denmark.
Hey Denmark, thank you for dropping by. I know may stream ka kanina. And yeah, sabi ni Denmark, you'll also realize that it's a heavy game when your brain can find a coherent way or chronological way to teach it.
Parang ito was like the Lisboa, di ba? When it was hyped a few years ago,
Yeah.
then I think, well, I'm just hearing it from the kwento of Morgan
Mhm.
that there was a hype of like buying of Lisboa.
Yeah,
then,
because parang sinabi niya, it's Vital Lacerda's first sandbox game.
yes, and then
Napabili din ako nun eh. Yeah.
and then madami din nagbenta kasi hindi alam.
It's not. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure whatever their reason for selling it. But like they have opened it, played it once, and then sold it. Maybe it's because of some of the things that we're going to discuss later.
Okay.
And that's what I think the reasons are. Okay, the struggle is real. Sabi nga ni Denmark,
Yes.
sabi ni, okay. Chelsea, okay, game length. Yeah, that's correct. We will be discussing that. Okay.
Later.
All right. Rule book ng Root. Okay, Melvin, I haven't played Root yet. I'm not sure if it is a game for the both of us, but yeah, I've been hearing stories that it's one of the most difficult game to teach, especially when everyone is first time players except you. So yeah. Okay.
Kyle was asking, there was a hype for Lisboa. Yes, there was.
Like it's yeah. Yung I think that was like 2019,
Hindi.
18.
Mga 18, 17.
Or maybe it's just a hype between our play group siguro. Not really a hype generally. Like okay, we've been discovering many Euro games and ay may bagong labas si Vitalas or the Lisboa ganyan. So,
okay. Okay, so
okay. Yeah. Basically that's it. Yeah. Yari ay nilalaglag na naman kapag napabili sa hypo mo.
ay,
Yeah,
yan,
it is.
May kakambal yan.
May kakambal daw ako. Okay. I don't know if this joke is mentioned. I'll late. Okay. Hey, Sunny. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Okay. May parating na okay. Sunny. Okay. Oh, Melvin. Funny. Yeah. If
It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a great game. Like for me, it falls under my top 10 games of all time, Lisboa. And if you really are into heavy games, I'm sure you'll like it. Yun lang siguro
Patience.
yung sinasabi mo kanina, yung layers and ni Ron and the audience is yung layers after layers siguro is yung mga intertwined rules. Like you cannot explain a certain action if there is that action correlates to another action. So something like that. Medyo coupled yung rules nila. So yeah, that's the second one. It's rule complexity. And third point is gameplay. So when you say gameplay, in terms of strategic play, like if it is a game that will let you think for like 2 to 3 moves ahead, um, and yun nga, yung actions mo is something that you cannot um, comprehend in or cannot ang tawag dito, you cannot remember in just one sitting, like Gaia Project, Terra Mystica, like Clans of Caledonia. Ang daming there are like 8 actions that you could choose from,
Yes.
and each action has their own rules except the pass, which is the simplest one. Okay, and then yeah, design then again, the design is when in terms of yun nga, when actions upon actions are intertwined. So
And
yun.
also, I think ano yun, yung pag-type din yung resource within the,
Yeah, isa pa yun.
when it's designed to have a tight resource, I think that's also
We
one.
consider that heavy games. There are some heavy games na hindi naman on usually board gamers would consider them medium, but if it doesn't necessarily mean na kailangan yung rules is complex. There are this when I say heavy game in terms of gameplay, they are not necessarily complex rules, but in terms of gameplay rules or gameplay experience, heavy siya kasi yun nga. Sabi mo nga tight yung resource, you need to think on how you could manage this or be efficient or spend it in the most efficient way.
Mhm.
Okay, na you would gain more on which action you need to spend those resources to. So
I think for me, Gaia Project, like getting of gold in Gaia Project,
yeah.
though I won, I don't know how I won.
So yeah, minsan may mga resources sobrang hirap kunin. We remember one game I remember here is sa Tolkien. Na yeah, it's I don't know, for me siguro maybe I suck playing at it, but I feel that the resources are tight, especially the corn.
Yes.
Where
So
you,
much
where you are using it not just for feeding but on your every
on your
actions.
action.
Na if you want to go further, you need to spend more corn. The more workers you wanted to put in play, the more corn you have to spend. Pero ang hirap niyang kunin, something like that.
Mhm.
What else? Ano pa ba mga games na simple lang? I find Lost Ruins of Arnak heavy.
Because it's like a combination of
It's a combination
gameplay,
of yes. It's
Yeah,
parang
you have
parang they wanted to be simple pero sumobra sila ng konti.
sumobra na onto naging heavy, ganon.
Oo. So ganon.
So yan.
Yan.
Ano ba?
Okay. Ayun. So eto, sabi ni Benjo, when teaching the game takes longer than playing the game itself. Yeah. Yun pa, pag yung teaching mas matagal. Ang hirap ituro. Hey, good evening, Fred. Agree sa tight resources, too much requirement to do an action.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe perhaps there's a prerequisite before you could do an action.
Yes. If you know, if the gameplay makes you work, yung feeling na para kang nag-work na rin. Parang okay, kailangan mong gawan ng paraan yan ha. Ito lang yung resource mo. You need to finish this goal. This guy is, or kailangan talunin mo si ganito, something like that.
Well, it's also, I think, similar to Zimbabwe. Di ba, parang you could, I forgot how it plays, but ang alam ko, basta meron kang mga resource. Is it resource?
The cows.
Mga artifacts na 2 spaces, something ganyan.
Yeah, the god powers.
Tapos, basta.
Oo.
You feel my hate for that game.
Actually, Zimbabwe, the Great Zimbabwe has simple rules lang in terms of like in distance, where do you get resource from. But when the second craftsman goes into the board, that's where
it changes everything.
That's where you're going to, just look at the board making computations, especially if it is a very um, minsan may nakalaro kami ni Ina na sobrang competitive na
Kay Ina.
okay na alam mo yon okay talagang tahimik lahat talagang nakatingin lang sa board so in the back of their minds they're counting how many spaces or something like that so it
Yes.
becomes complex.
Yep.
And that's because of the gameplay.
And I remember nung playing Zimbabwe, parang wala na akong action na magawa. Or I kept on passing na lang kasi I could not satisfy any of the actions that could be done. So, yeah. So, obviously,
Okay.
I lost.
And guys, even though we're discussing this games does not mean they're bad.
Yes.
A lot we know I know some friends who really enjoy such games who are gusto nila yung stress, yung tension. These are what for us what we just call nasa heavy category na tong mga to. And something that we won't recommend especially on newbies
Yes.
or new gamers.
Okay. And before that, accounting.
And
accounting.
isa pa yun, yung sa gameplay, part ng gameplay, yung sobrang daming accounting, sobrang dami mong kailangan i-manage, tutukan, or i-update. Kunwari, if you are using tracks. So
is that why in like VGA implementation, there's a calculator?
Well, that's the funny thing with online implementations. Like we were playing Carnegie, we were playing Beyond the Sun, and because everything is automated, it makes that game very less complex than how it used to be. Especially Feast for Odin, something like that.
Kaya nung game yung may calculator?
Well, ginawa lang namin yun ni Kai lang Terraforming Mars because the way you drag those cubes are so very slow. So you need to put some calculator na lang so that minus.
Oh, hello.
Hey, before we go to the next point, we just want to say hello. Hey, Rod.
Hi, Rod.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by.
Hi, Jaja.
Hey, Jaja. How's your cats and dog? And hope you're and we hope you're doing well, especially your family. Praying for you. Yun.
Hey, Jasper.
Hey, Jasper. Hey. Nasa
Best
Sydney
friend.
ayun, si best friend nandito. So ayun, sana makalaro ka namin. Hope everything is well dyan sa Sydney. Okay. So let's Europe in turmoil, next level Euro. Okay, I do not know this guy. Turo mo sa akin. Okay. Minsan games become heavy depending on the mood of the players.
Yes, we have a...
Yeah. Mamaya darating tayo dyan, but I 100% agree with you, Ron. Okay, and lastly, how we define games that are heavy is due to setup and playtime.
Yes.
Okay.
Set up because
siguro
there's lots of components.
This is the fact. Siguro not all people look at this or consider this to become a heavy game.
I know why you're considering this.
No.
Kasi ikaw lang yung nagsiset up.
Yeah. I mean, it's parang heavy yan kasi
na.
parang wala namang argument na or you don't reason na it's a heavy game because it's hard to set up and it's hard to tear down.
Okay.
Pero I think
there's lots of components usually.
Yeah. And for me, if it is something that's very hard to set up and tear down, tapos yung gameplay does not match with it. Example, Pulsar 8 Pulsar.
Pulsar, yeah.
Yeah.
Super easy game, pero difficult to set up.
That's the reason why we get rid of it. Well, that's for our taste, no. So Pulsar is one of the games that are very difficult to set up. And pero the experience is not that as fulfilling as it is.
Yep.
So ayun lang.
Okay.
So
how about playtime?
Yeah, playtime. Sabi nga ni Chelsea kanina, it's playtime. Yeah,
and si Benzo.
Yeah. It usually lasts siguro average nan siguro 3 hours if you were to play a heavy game. If you are like 2 to 3 players or 3 hours, you expect that your game will last 3 hours. If may teaching pa yan, it might be more. So ayun. So that's the average time in our experience.
Yeah.
So parang last night we played Kanban with teaching. Inabot tayong 2 hours mahigit na. 2 hours and a half.
More
More than
playing.
Plus teaching and playing.
Parang 3.5.
Okay. So yeah.
Kasi we
So
started around 8:15 tapos
yeah, I thought it
past 12
parang 1
na
hour ko
time tapos.
1 hour ko tinuro, no?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, ganun. So yeah. So that's what makes the game heavy. That's how we define games, heavy games.
So,
And
and what?
and yeah, and I also like to mention this. Someone from Reddit, based on my research, defined a heavy game, which is for me, it's very well said. Sabi niya, a heavy game is a game that you leave the table feeling like you exerted yourself mentally or physically due to sitting around too long. And then it may leave you a little fatigued due to its length or making your brain hurt. Tapos after finishing a heavy game, we usually want to balance it with a less heavy game. So
if
that's
you want to play pa the next
yeah,
game.
that's
Usually we do.
how he defined heavy games, and we 100% agree then.
Yep. So, I mean, considering all the definition of why a heavy game is considered a heavy game, parang, di ba parang cons silang lahat? So, why do we
Yeah,
still
yeah.
like it?
Yeah, so we will jump to the next topic. In the second topic, second out of three topics that we have, or these 3 points that we have,
Yes.
is why do we like playing heavy board games? But before that, yeah, hey Ja, it's nice to hear na okay na si
Yeah.
family nyo. Hey, hey Jasper, tips to play Catan, keep safe. Okay, yeah,
Morgan can teach you a different game.
yeah,
if you want.
pag nandito ka, tuturuan kita ng ibang game, bro.
Or sa BJA.
Or yeah, oo nga, no, we could meet online sometime.
Yep.
Tapos Discord na lang tayo. I can teach a game or two. Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, going back.
Okay, next, let's move on from the definition. So why do we like playing heavyweight board games?
Yep.
Again, our topic is our love/hate relationship. So here we will be giving you why. Yeah, nga, one of those topics is why do we like playing it, and what do we see others will find it challenging. Pero that's for later. Okay. Okay, why do we like playing heavyweight games? Ikaw, why do you like despite of those things that we defined, its definition, which seems to be so very overwhelming.
Okay. I think, well, with board gaming in general,
Okay.
it was more of like doing it, then the feeling will follow. Parang ganon.
Okay.
Alam mo yun?
Okay.
Na parang it's obey before you the emotion will follow. Parang ganon.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
I guess I found your excitement or your giggle to play a certain game. Well, I think that was, I'm not sure if it was Lisboa or Brass.
That was Brass.
Okay. And your giggle to have a more efficient gameplay. So you were so excited about it. And nadala na lang ako, and then the feeling followed. So I like
inano ko lang siya. Let's play a game, pero hindi ko sinasabi sa kanya heavy game. So yeah, ayan.
So ginagulat na lang ako.
Yeah. So, pero in fairness naman, may progression naman yung gaming experience natin.
Okay.
So yeah.
First, well, for me, I think there's a sense of accomplishment.
Accomplishment.
After playing a heavy board game.
Okay.
So, alam mo yung parang mahirap pero you were able to push through, sense of accomplishment that you were able to understand or to even to make several moves that are efficient or parang
that gives you points.
Yeah, that gives you points. Parang plus points na lang talaga if you won. If you won the game. Pero like pushing through with it and able to understand it. Parang that for me there's a sense of accomplishment.
Okay. That's a good point. Well, for me, the reason why we like playing heavy board games, I do agree with her with the sense of accomplishment. Like after playing it, like it whoever wins really does not matter. And for me, the second is value for money. I think
Why?
heavy
Why?
board games, when you buy a board game, and heavy board games really for me gives more value for money.
Bakit?
It's
Well,
because of the
well,
over
components, yes.
well components,
Components
especially when you're
wise.
buying an Eagle Griffin game. So siguro nasa
Sponsor us,
nasa
please. Joke
mahal
lang.
nasa mahal na side na yon,
Mhm.
very very high priced game na yon. And then ayun, yung experience mo to play, I for me parang sulit siya eh. Like you went into a siguro you went into a amusement park, you paid this amount and then you had fun and something like that. So ayun.
Akala ko parang sport. Parang kickboxing.
Rather than like for example buying a game that is worth 5,000 pesos plus. For example,
Ano yan?
let's say Canvas na KS, di ba? So
Ano yung
so it work
canvas?
it's a set collection game where you
Okay.
put some parang transparent cards na patong-patong.
Mhm.
I haven't shown that to you yet. But yeah, it costs like at that amount. Pero when you play it as a light game, for me, well, that's just me lang naman. Okay. It and for us, siguro parang hindi ako nasusulitan for to buy that. And hindi ko rin alam if it is wrong or right. Parang naging point of comparison ko yung heavy game eh. Let's say for example, I have Kanban EV and Rococo that are both published by Eagle Griffon and they have the same price point. But if you played both of them, it's yung gap sobrang layo kasi Rococo is just like a medium weight game lang. Like I would agree with Shut Up and Sit Down's criticism about it that they don't feel
It deserves a deluxe
it
edition.
deserve yeah, or yung price really gives the value for the
Mhm.
experience that you will be getting. So yeah, basically that's my explanation. But other players or other gamers, they find value naman sa components like miniatures, and I think that's also a fair point.
Yep,
But
yep.
for us, it's more on the experience of the game. That's why I personally more I don't this doesn't mean that we don't like lighter games. In fact, we do have a lot of lighter games than in our collection,
Yep.
and medium weight games
Sobrang
naman.
light.
Oo,
Mga party games.
it's either sobrang light or sobrang heavy.
Okay. So, let's see in the comments.
Okay.
So, Lewin agrees with the money.
Yeah. Yeah, Kai says, yeah, we like them because they're brain burners. Yeah, like ito,
Yan.
you like
Kaya,
challenge.
masarap ang tulog
Kaya masarap ang tulog.
pagkatapos.
Okay.
Yes. Then, Ron here has a good point.
Heavier
on,
games
on
often
the value for money.
often give players more options on how to reach goals. So flexibility means more replays. Yeah. And parang parang you will be challenged na ano ba yung magandang strategy parang something like that. Unlike siguro lighter games na you can easily a lot of people can easily, well, not me, I really suck at gaming din. Nakikita nila kagad yung magandang strategy, ano yung yan, alam mo yung something like that. In heavy games it's not like that eh. You have to experience it before you could say it. Well, for me yeah.
Okay. Next point.
Okay, next point is
Why do we
like heavy games is because of the
heavy
sulit
board
gaming
games?
experience din.
Sulit gaming.
Sabi nga ni Denmark, para masarap ang tulog. So our lifestyle kasi as a couple, we only get to play usually every weekends lang. Pag weekdays, we don't really play during weekdays. Pero I play with friends like Luvin, sila kay online, well, before. Now kasi now I'm working in a very morning shift, Australian shift schedule, parang hirap na. Hindi na nagtutugma-tugma yung schedule.
Antok na.
So usually weekends lang, okay? And on a weekend, minsan siguro pinakamadami in that weekend, dalawang game na yung malalaro namin. Most usually isa. And then for me, when you played a heavy game during a weekend, parang it feels the entire week na okay na ako for board game. I
Parang
mean,
na-scratch na yung itch mo for
yeah. Parang na-satisfy na yung tank mo
love board game
for
tank.
board,
Ganon.
yung love board game tank mo na okay, I want to play board games, so naglaro ka ng ano, parang full charge ka ulit, parang ganon.
Okay.
Okay. It's not like other games na when you play it,
Parang
bitten, which is also good kasi it wants
encourages
you
you
to play more. Pero for us kasi, it's not, we don't have the luxury of time, especially during weekdays to, okay, let's play this tomorrow again, something like that. So, ganon. Kasi, syempre, we do have responsibilities then, like, in
Humiga,
matulog.
Anyways, yes.
So, ayan.
Okay. So, any additional points for Sulit Gaming?
Yeah, mostly, and most heavy games then contains various mechanics.
Yeah, we have mentioned it.
Which allows you to experience all of those in one gameplay. So, somehow sulit, yeah, part of it kasi it's, yeah, nasusulitan ako sa ganong experience na
one time big time. Ganyan.
One time big time. Oo.
Okay. Kasi syempre, ano yun, si-set up mo pa.
Hey, Javi.
Hey, Javi.
Good evening, Javi. So, yeah, isa-set up mo pa and stuff. So, yun.
At least yun isang setup na lang.
Oo. Tama. Ayun. So, that's how our thought, ganun yung thought process ko on our experience or on our gaming life. On our board gaming life. Okay. Another thing, why do we like heavy board games, especially to me? It personally gives me that satisfaction of, is satisfaction the right word? Of introducing heavy board games to people who shy away from these games. Like, a challenge ko sa sarili ko is, especially when we become exposed online, like a lot of, I got to experience playing with a lot of people just this pandemic. Like, okay, let's play this game. Like, I tried one time nung birthday ni Martin, I volunteered to teach Anachrony, which is, okay, I know sobrang matagal to. So, let's start at 7 p.m. In-expect ko matatapos to 11 p.m. Parang ganun na yun. So, yun. So, for me, na-challenge ako doon. Like, I might not be the good teacher of heavy games, pero it somehow challenged myself to learn more on how to teach the game, and also it gives me the satisfaction na when people who you introduce that game appreciates the game so much, enjoys the game, despite if you were beaten by them, it's okay. For me, masaya na ako. Sobrang ganun yung mindset ko on board gaming, which I think generally in all games naman, regardless of difficulty or complexity, I'm sure a lot of you also experience the same. So, ayun lang, like yung share mo lang yung game sa friend mo or even to your family members and stuff. So, ako lang siguro, iniba ko lang yung variety. Okay. Hindi masyadong nalalaro or pinag-uusapan ng game na to, introduce ko nga. Something like that.
Okay.
So, ayan.
Okay. So,
ayun. So, those are the reasons why do we like playing heavy board game.
How about our ating mga friends?
Yeah, if you.
So, why do you guys like playing heavy board games?
If you do. or siguro, why would you like, or I don't know. Well, for me, I think everyone should at least try it once. Ayun lang.
Okay, so let's.
And for our final, and for our final point, or final list of topics that we're going to discuss is our heavyweight board games for you. Okay, how do you know how could you assess if it's for you or not? And based on it's based on our observations, based on our experiences, and like personally, I tried introducing heavy board games to various people, like to my office mates, like a while ago kay Benjo. He's one of those people who I introduced board games with. Ayun, and this is also under the assumption that you have at least played the game already. Regardless of the complexity, siguro at least you have played Ticket to Ride, you have played Splendor, you have played
Katan.
Catan, like Catan, okay? Or you have played even games that are, highly thematic. Basta games that na people would expect, okay, pag board games, mga oras yan. So, something like that. Okay.
Okay, I just want to show this comment of Ron. Mas matagal na kasama friends mo pag heavy games. Bonding kayo.
Wow,
Hesh.
yeah, well, uy, hindi ko naisip yan Oo nga, mas
True.
matagal kitang kalaro pag heavy game. Hindi, joke lang. Okay. So yeah, it's also a good way. Why do you like heavy games? Para
Okay.
mas matagal mong kasama. Or dala ka na lang ng maraming light games. At least maraming games. Okay.
Okay.
So first is what are the things that we think you should consider for if to say if it is for you or not.
Yes, is it for you?
Would you like to start?
Yeah.
Go.
Well, I think for me, level of experience. I mean, if you're fairly new to the board gaming, I think you should not yet maybe heavy board gaming is not yet for you.
Mhm.
What do you mean by that? I It's not naman that I undermine people's capacity of learning.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not that, but well, based on experience, parang for you to really appreciate heavy board games, parang you should already have parang nakapag-grind ka na. Alam mo yun? That you have already played different game mechanics.
Different style, yeah.
Different styles.
Siguro at least certain basic game mechanics alam mo na, like you know what worker placement means, you know what set collection means, or what action point selection means.
Yes.
Something like that.
So, ano yun? Because, well, for me, when, ano yun, nagulat ako na Brass was a heavy board game na pala. Because,
Yeah.
I didn't feel that it was. Maybe if you introduce it to me like really
Years
early,
ago, or earlier years ago.
maybe I wouldn't be able to appreciate it.
Mhm.
But now it's one of my favorite games. So,
Okay. So does it mean that we could buy the games that na hindi mo na-appreciate before? No, just kidding.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So ayun. So yeah, level of experience like what Ronnie said. So ayun. So at least you nga, at least you know the basics, you know the terms, some jargons dahil nalaro mo na siya and stuff.
Yes.
Mas madaling magturo kasi if you could relate to this game, like this track is like in like say like you say it's like in Cholkin, or it's like in Gaia Project, something like that. Or okay, the worker placement is like what happens in Stone Age, or something like this, I think. So yeah, so parang ganon.
Yep.
Okay. Next
So,
is siguro one thing you need to consider is time, which is if you are willing to invest a lot of time to learn to play and teach the game. So ayun, if you are that kind of person that okay, for me, okay, I'm willing ako like what I've said a while ago, it usually takes me a couple of days to be more confident in playing playing the game and teaching the game, like especially if it's something that I haven't played then, which we madalas siya yung palagi kong guinea pig when I teach the game. So ayun, it's really
kaya dun sa mga naturoan na ni Morgan, nag-improve siya dahil ako naman yung pinag-practicean niya.
okay.
Joke lang.
So ayun, so it really takes a lot of time. I'm not sure, although for me, hindi ko kaya, I don't generalize this to all people, but this is for me. Hindi ko kaya yung magbubukas ako na isang heavy game, which is most reviewers have stories about, like in conventions. They will open a game, they will all read the rule book, and then they will set up the game and play while they're learning. Parang for me, parang hindi ko kaya yon. Or yung ganon. So I need time, I need to see how it's played and something like that for me to appreciate it.
Yeah, and yun nga, everyone has a different kind of learning methodology.
Yeah, and ang hirap kasi sa heavy games din, it's critical yung teaching. Sometimes it's based on the person teaching the game. Well, hindi naman siguro sa heavy games lang. A game can be enjoyable based on the one teaching it. If it's something na hindi mo din maintindihan yourself as you yourself teaching the game, you yourself might not enjoy it, or even the ones you're teaching.
You're going ahead.
Okay, sorry for that. I'm going ahead na warning anak.
Yeah.
Okay, napulis ako.
Time lang tayo eh. Time.
Okay, time. Okay, so that's time. So
Okay.
you need to really invest time compared to games that are very light.
Yes.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. So patience. Okay, things that you have to consider is
No. I think there's another one for time.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're willing to spend at least 2 to 3 hours of play
Yeah,
time,
like what I've said a while ago, it takes an average of 3 hours. Yeah, if
Yep.
you are like the kind of person who is okay, who could give at least 3 hours of game time with your friends, then you could go ahead, go play, go. I think it's you deserve or you owe it to yourself to try at least a heavy game.
Yep.
Pero yung lifestyle mo is okay, you pupunta ka sa with friends, tapos 1 hour ka lang or a couple of hours to play, so maybe it's not for you because
Yes.
again, heavy
Or
games,
tipong on call. Ayun.
yeah, heavy games
Yan,
really
mahirap
take
yun.
longer. It needs more time. Okay.
So,
All right.
should we
Okay, before we go, okay. What time of day is in your opinion best to bring out heavy game? Oh, good question.
Of course, it's weekends.
Okay. Okay.
Well, for me, what works for me is weekends talaga. And then,
like before mag-dinner, no?
pero hindi natin masyadong nagawa yun. Basta, for me, hindi na dapat siya lalagpas ng 8:30
Yeah,
PM.
yeah.
Especially if you're learning a new game.
Pag 8:30 na, tapos magyayaya ako ng board game, she will pass na.
Yes, pass na ako doon.
So, dapat mga bandang 7, 6 o'clock, nagsa-set up na ako.
Yep. And, hindi rin, well, sa atin, hindi din siya best pag after kumain kasi naantok.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Pero that's a good point, Kiyo. That's a good point din.
Yes. So, pwede din mornings, I think, tipong before kayo mag-lunch. If you're early birds,
yung morning na hindi
nakapagkape na kayo and all.
Yes. Yeah. You have
But
taken a bath.
We're not early birds kasi.
No, we don't usually play early in the morning or So yeah. Okay, next is siguro patience. If you are willing to learn or relearn its rules. Okay, personal challenge ko in heavy board gaming, most of our collections, like half of it, I think, or maybe 40% are leaning medium heavy to heavy. Okay. And the challenge on that is you don't, well, I think for me lang siguro, I don't know if this is for everyone, but makakalimutin ako to in short. I don't always remember the rules, like let's say for example, years ago we played Lisboa like for like for a day, now like for like buong araw yun yung laro namin. And then tumagal lang ng ilang months yan, makakalimutan ko na naman yung rules. Kahit sabi mong ganun ko siya ka-intensive nilaro, kahit nilaro ko siya lang sunod-sunod, it always, it always gets flashed out of my memory.
It's like when you bring it out after for a second gameplay. It's like you're relearning it, pero siguro half the time na lang, but you need to check the rule book.
Yeah,
again.
I always
Or
watch
review,
yung how to play na naman ni Paul Grogan or something like that. And ayun, that's I really need to relearn. Well, for me, that's my my challenge. Siguro for you to mitigate that, try to play it as frequent as you can. Like kahit twice a month, that could siguro stay in your memory. Pero it's something that years mo nang di nalalaro, it will yeah, it will be forgotten.
Yep.
And of course, if yun lang. Again, if you're willing to learn or to relearn a game, then go with heavy games. Okay, next is if problem solving is your thing, like yung sabi ni Kai, brain burning, and if he enjoys that, which requires physical and mental preparation, like yung sabi ni Kiyo, it's a good point. Like physical and mental preparation um, um, involves time. Like what time natin lalaroin, what time of the day ba tayo energetic, or like yung cognitive ability mo to play or to learn the rule are so very high na okay, hindi ka antokin and stuff like that. So then board gaming is for you. Okay, I'm not saying naman na there's no problem solving with light games. Okay, there are a lot of light games out there that
Very thinky.
very thinky.
Calico ganyan.
Yeah, Calico is a one of a good example. Mercado de Lisboa, which is a Vital Lacerda game na filler. Try niyo yun. It's a very light game pero sobrang thinky niya. Which I personally find amazing din. Okay. And lastly, for patience is if you have the patience to answer repeated questions.
Yeah.
What do I mean? I have this colleague before that we were playing Gaia Project here in our home. Na from the early game, from the start of the game, before matapos yung game, he keeps on asking repeated questions.
The same questions.
The same questions. Like minsan kumakamot na ako ng ulo. Sinabi ko na sa'yo yan kanina eh. Okay.
Uy, na ganun din ako nung sa Lisboa.
Pero alam mo yon, yung ganun. So
ano nga yung pwede kong gawin dito? Mga timong.
yung cube. Okay, anyway, yung cube ni Marquis. Lagi mo nakakalimutan yan sa Lisboa. But anyway, yeah, you will experience that especially when introducing heavy board games with people. You should have extra patience on those kind of when on people who keeps on asking the same questions again and again. It's natural because nga the game is complex.
And sila din nila memorize yung rules. So they turn to the game master. So yun.
Yeah. Okay. Before the next one, Luvin says, okay, na-try din namin yan, binuksan yung Game Feudum, tapos we played, inabot ng 6 hours. Yeah, so...
Ulit pa ba?
Yeah.
Na ganon.
Yeah. And yung 6 hours mo yun, hindi mo sure kung nalaro mo ba yun ng tama o hindi. So yun pa yung yung dilemma. May mali ba tayong rules? Minsan, after 6 hours, parang, ang pangit naman ng game. Yung pala, meron kayong maling rule, kaya pangit yung game. Minsan ganon eh. Kaya it's critical yung rule eh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next part...
Lisboa is love.
Yeah, Lisboa is love. Hey, Robert. Okay. Yeah, it's our favorite then. Ako personally favorite ko yan. Top 1 or top 2 game of all time ko yan.
Thank you to Jake for our copy.
Yep. Jake, salamat sa Lisboa. Kaso lang, tagal natin ng laro nun.
Yeah.
Okay, next is playgroup. Okay, if you have friends who are down for it, go. Because, again, if ikaw lang naman may gusto ng heavy game, well, this is actually self-explanatory. Then heavy games is not for you. Okay.
Or look for friends who are.
Yeah, or better look for
or
friends.
Convert friends who will also love
okay.
heavy games.
And yun nga, part of the playgroup then aspect is if someone can teach the game clearly.
Yes.
If you are on the side of exploring naman heavy board gaming, and you know that this person has a reputation of teaching clear rules, then go ahead. Kasi, sabi ko nga, very crucial ang rule teach sa heavy board game. It can be a hit or miss depende kung sino nagtuturo.
Yes.
Which is, I experienced then personally.
Yeah, you did not appreciate
Okay, I don't want to mention the game because it will be pointed to a person. Pero anyway, yeah, the point is ayun, someone can teach the game clearly.
Yes.
Ayun lang. Okay. Okay, last 2 points siguro things that you need to consider is budget.
Yes.
Kasi the cost of most heavy games are leaning on the expensive side of spectrum.
Yeah. Or look for a friend.
Again, look for a friend.
Borrow ka na lang.
Borrow ka
Yeah.
na lang. Oo, look for a friend who likes heavy board games. Or kasi iilan lang din sila. I mean, I'm not sure kung ano yung ratio ng people who likes heavy games. I think mas konti sila kumpara sa mga ano.
Someone self-variable opinion. Ako, budget.
Yari tayo dyan. Ako.
Kaya hihiram. Hiram na lang.
Hiram ng pera kay Lubin. Okay. LOL light gamer lang ako. Light gamer. No, light game mo yung 18xx. Okay.
Tama. Sabi nga ni Rujin, that's what our friends
Yan.
for.
Natututo kami kay Rujin eh. Kaya nga yung last na topic namin are heavy. Dapat ang tanong dito, to whom are heavy board games for? Tapos sasagot natin, heavy board games is for you. Mala Rujin moves eh. Okay. So yan. So
budget.
Aside from budget, well, part of under the budget thing is not all board games or heavy games. Especially yung
Wait, if you can find a supplier for it.
Well, yes, if you can find a supplier, it's not that very in demand. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong on this, pero not all heavy games are available locally.
Yes.
Unless you have ways to purchase them somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yun lang. Yun ang siguro isa sa mga magiging dilemma if you will be basing it locally. Pero some stores, I think, nakikita ko, they had, like, recently, someone's selling the whole Vital Lacerda collection.
But it's not as, parang, like, in one game shop, there's only just one copy. Unlike, Unlike in other games na they have multiple copies of it. So, or something.
Yeah, and sometimes you will be jumping to different game shops to get different various heavy games then.
Yep. Okay, next.
And finally, last thing that you need to consider about if it is for you is shelf space.
Yes.
Because if you are okay having games in your collection that are not oftenly played, then try heavy board games. Kasi heavy board.
Pero parang hindi siya solid gaming. Pero yeah.
The reason for that is, yes,
it's not often that
admittedly heavy board games are games that are very hard
to put on the table.
To bring to the table. It's yun sabi nga ni sino yung nagsabi ng mood. It's based din sa mood mo. It's so very reliant on mood. Unlike light games, minsan pag tinatamad ka, sige, let's play a game. Like, or minsan kung ganado ka, yung pag heavy games, you really need to be in the right mood.
Yes.
Aside from the time.
You have already conditioned yourself that you're going to play a heavy board game.
Minsan sinasabi ko sa kanya 2 days before, laro tayo ng ganito sa Saturday.
Yeah.
So you have to we have to really schedule or make time for it, or prepare in advance na, okay, we will be playing a heavy game and stuff like that. I'll take a nap before that, so para at least pagising ko refreshed ako, something like that. Okay. And lastly,
like our Lisboa, diba, parang kailan, I can remember 2018 natin siya last na laro.
Okay, and then nilaro lang natin siya this year. 18, 19.
3 years.
So it's been 3 years. 3 years yung pagitan bago namin nalaro yung Lisboa. Siguro I played that more than 5 times na rin. Ikaw, oh yeah, kasi we played it din dun sa when we were with Zigzag with Benjo.
Yep.
So ayun, tapos I introduced it many times na rin without me playing. So ayun. But despite of those, na akala ko alam ko na yung rules, I'll still forget na nakakalimutan ko pa rin sila.
Yep. And the last point.
Last point is if your last point under shelf space is if your shelf can store big boxes. Na-mention ko yung shelf space kasi like for us, we have very limited lang yung shelf space namin. And
pero nagagawa ng paraan.
Okay. Yan. Pwede sa ilalim ng kama. Okay, very limited
Ginagawa
lang
niyang
yung shelf
paraan.
space namin, pero ayun. Ayun, most heavy board games namin, especially sa yung mga games na Eagle Griffon, malalaki yung games eh. Yeah, like, well, Anachrony pa lang, sobrang laki nung big ng box niya.
Mhm.
Black Angel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you really have to make sure that it is stored properly then if you have heavy games.
Kasi it's more expensive than the usual board games eh. Like, ayun, tapos ayun, so you have to make extra care of. Okay. So yeah. I think anything you wanted to add?
I think we covered everything that we wanted to discuss.
Yeah. So yun siya. So basically, yeah, those are the things that you might want to consider if it is for you or not. So yeah.
So wow, meron tayong conclusion.
Yeah,
so
before we end, we have siguro some final thoughts, some reminders, especially in the community. Okay, so why are we discussing this? Yeah, first of all, we just want to impart or to convey that not because you don't appreciate heavy board games means that you are less of a board gamer.
Yep. You don't get additional brownie points if you
play heavier games or it doesn't mean na mas matalino ka because you play heavy board games than this person or this mas matalino ka because you play heavier board games than another person who does not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that we really want to make sure or to clarify before we end this session.
Yep.
Again, it's all about what makes your boat float.
Yep.
So it's kung saan ka masaya, wherever or whatever game that brings you joy, releases you from stress or breaks the monotony of your life.
Go ahead.
Go lang. So that's why various complexity games are there. It's different folks, different strokes.
Yep.
Kaya ayun.
Okay. So yun.
Yun siya.
Okay. So guys, how about you? What's your favorite heavy game? Ikaw, Morgan.
I'll still go with Lisboa. Sabi nga ni Melvin Herrera, may parating siya. Man, you will never go wrong with that. So yeah. And then susunod-sunod na yan. Once you like Lisboa, try On Mars. And then try Vinos.
Talaga, Lisboa, not On Mars.
It's a very difficult one. Yeah, kaya nga 1 or 2 eh. Kasi ang ganda rin ng On Mars eh. Pero, okay. Yeah, Lisboa is really, sobrang close sa heart nung ni Vital Lacerda yun eh.
Ako naman, tanong mo din ako.
Ikaw, anong favorite heavy board game mo pala?
Ayan, Turkey Ring, yes.
Hey, Robert. Yeah, we tried. Actually, yeah. Good question. We tried Tricky yun.
Yes,
Actually, nung nilaro namin yung Kanban nung Sunday, we were discussing about, parang siyang Tricky.
Like,
yeah, because of the action point selection nung worker placement spots.
That you only have like a certain number of.
Yeah, you were given a number of points. Bahala ka, where you want to spend it. Okay. So, we played it once pa lang, pero we haven't played the one with the Dark Alley expansion, which is sabi nila that's the way you play Trickerion.
Okay.
Which makes the number of rounds 7 yata instead of 5. But sooner. Yeah, sooner. Yeah, anything you want to add to our conclusion? Final thoughts?
Hindi na.
Ang favorite board game mo muna pala. Okay, go. What's your favorite heavy board game?
Brass. But since you were getting my strategy.
Brass Birmingham.
Yes, Brass Birmingham. Siguro Vinos.
Talaga, sa Vital Lacerda game, Vinos ang gusto mo. Vinos. 2016 rule, 2010.
Alin ba dun?
The one with the bank or the one without the bank?
Um, one with the bank.
Okay, yeah, me too. For me, I think that's the way to play Venus.
Parang it's like, mm, parang it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm,
Kasi
mm-hmm,
if you have an extra bank, ano yun, action,
mm-hmm,
di ba?
mm-hmm.
Kasi you'll go, if you're in real life, parang it really, matagal ang bank eh. Matagal ka magbangko. So,
Okay.
it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Phil Eklan games. This I haven't tried. Actually, there's a friend, my friend din ako who really recommends these to me. His name is Franco. So I haven't tried any of Phil Ekland's games, but I'm afraid these are very high ano sila eh
Hi,
medyo
money.
high interaction mostly yung mga games nila eh. Mostly pag area control.
Mhm.
But ako I'm personally willing to try it, but I'm not sure if that's something we could keep. But I'd like to try. I'm down for it. If okay.
Kai
Okay.
likes
Kai, I like Brass Birmingham and Brass Lancashire. Okay.
Lancashire.
Okay. Lancashire. At saka Birmingham. Okay.
Birmingham.
Yeah, which one do you like better, Kai? The Lancashire, the original one or the new one?
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I love Martin Wallace games. Ah, yeah, yeah. I think ano ba yung laro natin Martin Wallace game na isa? London is good. We just don't want
Loan.
the loan and well, may mga take that din sa cards that allows you to put poverty. Yeah, yung poverty tokens.
Okay.
Yeah, yung sa London the second edition. It's a good game. It's a solid game. It's just not for us unfortunately. So yeah, there you have it. That's actually
That's
what we
we
wanted
have.
to discuss right now. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. So, G's at the Table is part of the Variable Play Network. So we have different shows that whatever floats your boat. So, I'll just give a rundown of our scheduled streams and videos for this week. So tomorrow at 9 p.m. Ivan from Cardboard Buzz will have a part 2 of Board Gaming with Strangers.
Awesome.
So it will be on his YouTube and Facebook channel, and as well as the Variable Play Facebook and YouTube. And of course, every Thursday is open game night.
Yep.
Yes. Then on Friday, usually Dan from Monkey Plays releases a video for how to's and unboxing. So
yeah.
then on 9 p.m. it will be straight from the Meeple's mouth with
Yan.
in Denmark. It will be their episode 3. So they would be reviewing Songbirds.
Okay,
Yes.
some birds. Oh,
Then
okay. It's a very
on Saturday, Kyo will be releasing his second video under Harry Armcam. So
hairy arm cam.
yes, at 8:30 p.m. So it
Cool.
will be on Variable Play Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Then on Sunday at 8 a.m. is Solo Brawl with Ron, wherein he gives different or thinks of different ways on how to exercise using different game mechanics.
How to punish yourself using board games
or card games.
or card games.
Yes. Then at 9 p.m. we have Javi for Sunday Night Magic, which will be streamed at Variable Play Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yep.
Then we also have next week, we have Larong Aten at 9:30 p.m. Then the news on Wednesday. Also. Yes. And what else? So, and if you're into digital contents, we have Pinoy Gamer, and also Kyo has digital contents. And if you're into miniature paintings, we have Philippine
Pintados.
Tados.
Philippine Tados.
Yes. So
Ang angas
and
eh.
the
Angas.
solo board gamers also usually that second and fourth week Saturday.
Solo Board Gamers
Yeah,
PH.
so lots of videos for different kinds of people who are into gaming in general, not only on board games. Yes.
Yeah, and for us, we mostly discuss experience in board gaming for couples.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's all we have for tonight.
Yep. And again, we were, nag-extend na tayo. We were supposed to end earlier, but
Thank you for bearing with us despite the
Yep.
technical difficulties and all.
yeah,
Start of the
yeah,
spring.
and thank you for joining with us tonight. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for tuning with us.
Yes, and if you want a topic that you want us to discuss,
Yeah,
you can send us a message, and we'll
Yeah,
see
because
what we can.
we're running out of topics din.
Yes, we need your
Wala,
help, guys.
Yeah, we need your help.
So,
So, yeah. Ayan.
yeah. So I think that's all for us tonight.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
thank you for tuning in,
and see you again next month.
Yep. Keep on gaming.
Gaming. Thank you and
God
God bless
bless.
you all.